You know, how you guys doing? There's always something I'm missing, right? There's always something I'm missing. And today I forgot to turn off on my light. Oh, don't worry. When you come to the stream, and I'll not forget a single thing. So it's come to my attention, guys, that there is gonna be a tournament. I'd been hearing about it, but I wasn't. I'd been hearing about it. Sorry. But so where am I? Sorry, I've been hearing about it, but I wasn't sure of when the date was. So it's going to be this Saturday. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know exactly. Anyway, welcome to the stream, guys. I don't know exactly. What am I trying to say? I don't know exactly how the tournament is going to be, but recently there's been this new tournament in Ghana called the Generations Over the Board, and they'll be playing it on Saturday. My hope is that they use the DGT bots. If they do use the DGT bots, I will stream on Saturday. If they don't use the DGT bots, I'll just talk about what happened at the event. So yeah, that's basically what's going on right now, guys. That's basically what's going on right now. So the plan for today, as with every Tuesday, is to learn something. And recently we've been going through how to analyze your game. So last week we had a very nice time. So when we are done with the puzzles, we enter into it. So today I wanted to make it a little bit more practical. So if you're a lecker, then this may not like benefit you as much. As in, leckers like to watch, not talk. So what I would like to do is I would analyze a game, and then if you have a game you want analyzed, you can send in that game. But I'm not just going to sit down and analyze the game, right? We're going to practicalize what we are learning. So I'll analyze with you. So I'll mostly be asking questions than talking. Of course, I'll be talking a lot, but I'll mostly be asking questions, and I'll be talking based on what you say. So that is what this stream is going to be about. That's what I'm saying. That if you're a lecker, it may not benefit you as much because you don't like talking. But yeah, that's the plan for today's stream. So as usual, I do the puzzles. Then I'll start with one game, and then you can send in your games. Wait, do I have links allowed? Oh my goodness, do I have links allowed? I don't think there are links allowed. Give me a second, let me check this. I think I can send at least one link or something like that. Let me check. Phone says I'm not streaming, which is funny. What's going on? What is going on? Oh, connection issues. I mean, since yesterday we've been having that, so I don't know what's going on exactly with it. Give me a second. I'm just trying to load my permissions and my phone is just annoying me. Okay. Whilst my phone is working itself up. Okay, so how do we solve this? First instinct is this idea, but it's too slow. Second instinct is to just take. Third instinct is to take here and then take here. But takes here, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes. Doesn't seem good. Rook takes, rook takes, rook takes is also a nice one. Let's say rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, queen takes, knight takes, king takes, queen takes, bishop and rook versus queen. That should be good for white. Bishop and rook versus queen, that should be good for white. I think you'd be able to. I think you'd be able to. Okay. So that's basically what's gonna be happening today. So I think it's takes rook takes f7, rook takes f7, queen takes f7, king takes f7, knight takes f7. King takes f7. That's like very straightforward. Here, I don't like that. Queen takes here. Pawn push. Knight takes, queen takes. I mean, the game is even. There's nothing there. So I'm banking on this. Ooh. It's always the move you don't see. I think it's just queen takes, right? Yeah, queen takes because of this. Queen takes, bishop back. Hey, Fidan, how you doing? Hi. Hi, lichess 2x, how you guys doing? Welcome. Wait. Queen takes, bishop back, or then rook can just take here. And we are still chilling, because we have even takes here with check. Rook takes d7. Yeah, I'm considering between both of these are free. Both these pieces are free. So the question is, which one is better? That's always the question you're asking yourself. Knight can jump back and defend, join the defense, which I don't like. I kind of like queen takes, bishop back, rook takes, because there's future potential of taking here. Because once rook takes here, you have this, and the queen doesn't have an easy way of like infiltrating. So I think it's just going to be like queen takes. Yeah, queen takes. Queen takes, rook comes in here. You can play rook takes, king takes, and then jump in here with your knight. So I think that's completely fine as well. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah. Because this is just completely fine. Okay. Next one. 2 more. Sorry. 4 more. Then we enter into the analysis. Okay. Queen here. Yeah, I think that's it. It's queen to f6. It's queen to c6, right? Because there's no way from my opponent, like queen here doesn't work. So queen to f6, rook blocks this way. Then rook takes, rook comes back. Queen comes back, takes queen, and that's about it. That should be it. I don't think it's anything beyond that. Okay. Oh wait, yeah. I don't know why I thought he had to go to a light square. Yeah, this is actually also correct. Yeah, because if he had to go to a light square, I'll show the line I was trying to calculate. Oh. Rook to e8. Queen takes. No, that doesn't work. Yeah. No, it doesn't work. I was looking at here. Queen takes. Here is checkmate. I don't think it's rook e6. Rook e6, queen takes. Rook takes. No. Oh wait. Okay, so let's say I play rook here, queen take. No, that doesn't work. It's only that doesn't even work even if I do that. Looking at rook e8. Okay. No, that doesn't work. Rook e8, queen takes. You can't play takes here first. King comes up. Wait, king comes up here. No, but it's still a fair trade. No, it's not a fair trade. It's not a fair trade. Yeah, because you win a rook. Yes, it has to rook e8. Yeah, because you win a rook. So it's take and then take here. I kept focusing on checkmate, and that was the issue here. Because I was trying to form checkmate. So that's what I was looking at, for example, here. Because if you play if you play queen here, sorry, it's check into mate. Okay, not really into mate, but then the next thing was, if my opponent comes in here, takes here, right? King can't run anywhere. If you block, it's mate. So queen has to block, and then rook takes. This was the line I calculated, right? Okay, first and foremost, this is what I see. Okay, queen check, king comes out, queen comes in, check here. King hides this way. Okay, that's not good. So as always, when you're solving a puzzle, it's CCA, checks, captures, attack, right? Check. King comes in this way, check. Again, the king is hiding. So how about... Nah, I can't get to this square. Is there something else I can do? Wait, is that different? Check. King steps here. Pawn push, check. King comes in this way. Queen to g3. That might just be it. Queen g6, check. King e6, f5, king d6, queen g3, checkmate. That might just be it. I mean, some puzzles are just fine, right? Like, I just like how this puzzle is more about position, right? You'd be thinking, let me just take the knight, but the interesting thing is that it's more of a positional thing. So you have to go for the queen g6 check, pawn push, because you're always looking at this dark square. You're asking yourself, how can my opponent run away? And when you find it, you're like, oh, it's very straightforward and very easy. Cool puzzle. Cool puzzle. Bishop check, because king goes back is checkmate. So I think bishop f3 check, rook takes, queen takes, check. King goes back, you check, king comes in this way, then rook up. That has to be it. You want to check to move him to the backside. Like, you want to check to move him here, then you come in with this. Sincerely, I think today's puzzles are just simple. Now, oftentimes when I see these kinds of puzzles, I know there has to be a fork somewhere. But of course, I could be 100% wrong about that. Knight comes in here, check. Sorry, not check. Knight comes in there. Let's say rook stays defending, then we play pawn push. Then we just push under the supervision of the king. Like, we use this as sort of like a shield. We put there instead. Okay, so pawn push. I'm confused. Yeah, so basically that's what I was saying. If your opponent stays defending the pawn, you use the pawn as a shield to keep developing. And I think these puzzles were just simple. Mostly the puzzles are harder than this. I struggle with the puzzles. Okay. That's a good way to warm up as well. So now to the meat and potatoes of today's stream. So like I said, in today's stream, we are basically going to be learning how to analyze our games. Okay, so if you have a game, I think I'm right about this, because I think you're allowed to at least do one. I think you're at least allowed to post at least one link. I think you are. If you aren't, and you are interested, you can join the Discord and then just put your link there, the link to your game there. So it's a steady stream. So I'm with you guys here, right? I am with you guys. This stream will do you very good if you are proactive and like the chat, right? So if you are like new to chess, you are learning in chess, you are struggling to analyze your games, this is a good way to learn it. Practical lesson, right? Normally you do this with a coach, but I'm just trying to do this with you. So I'm going to look at one game. After that, I'm going to look at your games, right? But it's not going to be me. Like, I don't want you to think that, oh, I'm sending him the game so that he will analyze it. No, we are analyzing it. So I'll be asking questions, okay? So where is stream studies? Is it stream studies here? That is going to be cool. So you can try sending the link here. If it doesn't work, you can just join the Discord and put the link in there. My Discord is open for anything. So yeah. Yeah, so there's a channel called Game Analysis or Analysis, however I want to pronounce it. You can drop it in there. Give me a second. Boom. That is how we do it. Welcome everyone. It's good to see you. Good to see you. So the last time we did 2 games, we did these first 2 games. We are going into the 3rd game. Okay. Okay, so we did 1 win, we did 1 loss, and now we are doing 1 win again. Don't be afraid to analyze your losses. I feel like analyzing your losses is even the biggest thing you should do. I know it feels bad seeing the mistakes and the blunders, but analyze them, they'll help you out. Okay, wait, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win. Okay, wait, 3rd game, yeah. So I was playing the Scandinavian. I mean, this is all book, so there's not much I can talk about. This decision from my opponent, I don't know. You don't often want to see this kind of a move when you're playing. Like, you don't want to make such a move when you're playing. The 2, I mean, it's not like it's a bad square, don't get me wrong, but the 2 most likely squares you normally see this bishop being put in is e2 and then c4. I think c4 is the best out of these 3 squares. Obviously this should be better than this, and then this should be better than both, right? And for this, one of the reasons is there's this line where your opponent, let's say after knight here, e6, they play this move, right? The only way you can do this is if the bishop is here, right? When you try and do this and the bishop is in here, you run the likeliness of this knight, right? And the question is, why would you prefer the knight coming in here than simply playing the knight here? The very key, whenever you study openings, you realize we have key pieces, right? There are pieces, sorry, let me, in a lot of openings, there are pieces that are very key in enabling ideas for that opening, or they are very good pieces. So for example, in the Scandinavian, majority of your pawns are on light squares, so your dark squared bishop is your good bishop, and it sometimes plays a part in attacking your opponent on the king side. Yes, you are attacking the Scandinavian, right? So sometimes, to avoid your opponent like targeting your bishop, you play your bishop here to like the e7 square. Let me just make a random move like castles here. You'd want to hide your bishop here, but when your opponent has bishop to c4, this move allows them to take this bishop, which is very bad for black, right? But if this bishop is not here, for example, let's go back. If this bishop is not there, and I mean it creates a new game, but let's do this. Now this move doesn't work because I can just take. So let's say I put my bishop here, right? Now if you play this move, it just doesn't work. So the only thing you can do is to play this way. So my bishop is safe, right? I don't have to play with the mind. The threat is stronger than the execution, right? So a stronger player is calculating the fact that this bishop is good, and that if it comes to these squares, the knight can take it. That's what a stronger player is calculating. So he may not commit the bishop to any of the squares if he realizes that his opponent has the resource to take the knight. You may not see this, like if you are kind of now starting to learn chess, you may not see this or why it's important, but losing this bishop for black is kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal, especially trading a bishop for a knight in an open game state like the Scandinavian is. It's a small strategic or a small positional win for your opponent. So you may see it as a non-issue. It's a big issue, right? It's a very big issue. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, so bishop here, not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't know. Could I have just played this? No. Sometimes I have this like default mindset in the Scandinavian. And the default mindset is, oh, the idea of the pawn structure in the Scandinavian is to play against the light squared bishop. So as much as possible, you don't want to trade your light square bishops. Right? That's the default mindset I have, though I oftentimes try and switch it. Maybe here doing that would be fine. I just don't like the idea of I've already moved my queen so much. I don't like this idea. It feels like I'm doing too much. Maybe it's just fine, like knights, pawn push, castles, bishop. Maybe it's just fine. I don't know. But maybe I would like to just like a bit. I'll use the engine later on. Okay. All this is normal. Did I take? No, I didn't take, right? Yeah, because of where the bishop is. Maybe I should have taken. A very nice move I could have played here is this, right? Maybe I should have actually played that move. But what's the detrimental point to that move? Because if my opponent castles, I just spoil his structure, right? Or if he decides to keep the queen, I just spoil his structure, right? And this is a problem for him. Yeah, I could have just played that. Yeah, I could have just played this. Bishop back is a move, but it's not threatening yet. I think I can develop normally here. Bishop d6. And again, castles. Okay, wait. That's where the problem comes from. Yeah, castles will provoke me to take. Okay. Yeah, so bishop back is I think is very strong there. Yeah. So let's see bishop back. What do we do? Do we just like takes and then here? It feels underwhelming. I don't think it's a good move. But it's something to take note of. So queen h5 is a move I'll look at. But I think I like what I played. This kind of notifies me that my opponent is only going to castle queenside, right? And I mean, this is a weakness, right? Because if my opponent isn't watching, right? There are tactics in the balance, hanging in the balance. So if anything at all, this lets me know that my opponent is castling queenside. I won the okay, I thought I lost this. Yeah. The same thing, if you do this, the same thing, I just ignore it. If you take, I just come in here. Right, and this time it's even like double trouble. If the king can't move, so it has to be defended somehow else. Okay, that's actually what happened in the game. He played h8 a3. Okay, for a 1400, that's actually very nice. He didn't fall for the trick. That's nice. Okay. Yeah, I did that because I saw that I have two attackers against the pawn. But maybe this wasn't the right way to go. It's often not a good idea to let your opponent have this like sort of control with the knight. I don't know. I thought it was necessary to deal with it immediately, but I wasn't so like convinced. Yeah, and now the queen is defending here, so this move doesn't make any sense. Both queen and knight are defending here. I don't know, so far I don't think I've made any strange moves. Maybe bishop b4 might be a strange move. But bishop b4 is very understandable. If your opponent wants to castle queenside, you are practically preparing for it. Because queen e2 indicates he wants to castle queenside. So you basically start putting pressure on the opponent. And why is this pressure? Because if he castles, you have bishop takes, and whether bishop takes or pawn takes, you have takes here. That's the point. So if my opponent wants to castle, I want to give him a reason why he shouldn't castle. Right? If you can force your opponent to stay in the center, it's always a good thing. So that's my reasoning behind playing bishop to b4. a3 is not a threat. I mean, this is a significant weakness. Like in the end game, this pawn structure can become a problem. So even if he castles queenside, I'm still okay with this. So takes, pawn takes, and knight jumps back. Now we have two attackers. Of course, I'm not going to win this pawn because if ever I play takes, he's playing bishop takes, and bishop adds to the defenders. So not that big of a win. Well, then that was a blunder. So why did I pick this game? This was the game where I blundered. Okay. This was the game where I blundered. Yeah, I made this move. This game I blundered here. Okay, I now understand why. I blundered, but my opponent didn't see it. He calculated the position wrongly. He should have played queen takes, knight takes, and after pawn push, I'm forked, right? But then he instead went for the fork immediately, which allowed me to take his queen for free. And if he take, okay, then this is not a game I should be analyzing. This was very stupid. I wanted the games where it's like a technical battle, like there are things going on. So yeah. So let me put a text on the screen. Where is my text? Let me do this on, yeah. Okay, so I'm done with one game. I'll be doing the other game, but the moment anyone sends a game, then I will take a look at their game. But give me a second, let me just do this. You can send it now. Give me a second. Oh. Oh, what am I doing? I think it's Z. Okay. Let's see. Let's make it stay. Okay. I'm gonna cover the chat a bit, but hey, who cares? I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go to my next game while we do that. Okay, so this is a game I lost. Very nice. So I was, what the opening did I play here? Okay, London. Oh wait, I actually made a mistake. Sorry, I forgot to check some lines via the engine. Give me a second there. I wanted to confirm if bishop would be fine. Oh, it won't be fine here because my opponent has a tactic. I think it's the knight coming in here. Oh. To this. Because if we go okay. But if your opponent takes it just even. This is overshooting. Okay. So it's not that good because your opponent okay, but actually what's the move? B4? Because if you take, they just take here immediately. Oh, and there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run. Okay, then that is okay. Okay, maybe not in that position, but maybe another position. Okay, then here, Queen H5. Queen H5 is actually a decent idea. But after Queen H5, Bishop back, what do we do? I mean, it's also good because your opponent is also retreating a piece, so he's not like just developing. And you kind of just allow it. After castles is the issue, isn't it? Bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f3, and you go to h4. I get it, you are attacking the pawn, but I don't. This feels uncomfortable. This for me feels very uncomfortable. I think I'll just stick with what I know. Yeah, like this you may want to like play a line like this to throw your opponent off, but I think that even if it's a line you want to use to throw your opponent off, it's a very bad line to use to throw your opponent off. I don't think you get anything reasonable out of playing like this. And then the next thing was here. What did I mention I wanted to do here? Okay, I wanted to see if the trade was okay. So knight takes e5, d takes, knight to d5 instead. Wait, so my move was actually bad here. Interesting. I mean, it would make sense given the fact that you are on developing a knight. And there's also something like, not now, but there's something like bishop here. Okay, so maybe, I mean, it's not like losing, but you see the pressure points your opponent has against you. But it's saying castle queenside. I wanted to always check this line. Takes. I'm too behind. Like I'm not fast enough. I'm not fast enough to get this. Okay, what about if I give the queen a scare? The queen just goes back. check, you block again. Yeah, I'm not fast enough. I'm not fast enough. Okay. And then, so what would have been a slightly... What does the engine recommend? I don't think this is losing in any way. You can play it anytime you want and you'll be fine. I just want to figure out like... Oh yeah, it says knight to d5. Yeah, knight to d5, I mean, this... You take here, if queen takes, you take, and then you enter into this sort of endgame. So I would take this way to keep this pawn locked, and at the same time now I have like 2 areas I can attack. This pawn is a weakness for my opponent, right? So I'm just going to play like king d7 to guard these entrance squares, and maybe double up here or double up here. Either ways, I think this is going to be an okay game. I think black is for choice in this position. I think black is for choice. I like the way the pawn structure looks for black. It's much more organized, whereas white has a lot more weaknesses. Maybe you can try and start fixing it with this, but I don't think that works. Right, because after let's say you try and double, you do this, I can now come in here because but then he has pawn push, in which case this is not good for But if you play pawn push, this is what's coming in, and that just makes this pawn accessible. So you can't like easily stop it. I think this position I just think this position is good. I just think this position is good for black. I don't know. Let's just go back and see the end position I'm talking about here. That's if your opponent takes. That's if your opponent takes. Because I mean it's not by force to take in chess. It's even. Okay, fine. It's even, agreed, but I think that black has something going for him. I do think that black has something going in for him. I for sure think that black has something going in. Okay, next game. Okay. Okay, not like I don't know. I've looked into it. And this is something funny sometimes I do, right? You should the right move order is to play your knight first. Let me see. When you play bishop, no, actually it depends. It depends a lot on whether this knight has been developed or not, right? But then you want to play like the knight first, and one of the issues with playing knight first is that the bishop comes in, right? So a lot of times when I'm playing against certain players, like since the advanced players know that like this is the right way, like if you play this against a lower rated player, they immediately play this without like calculation. It's not a bad move, it's a good move, that's fine. But because I want to prevent the bishop from coming in here, if I realize that the player is lower rated, I'll play this because I'm hoping or I'm expecting them to not know what to do, so that after I play this and they play whatever they want, then I can play this and there's no bishop coming in here. But I only do that against lower rated players, right? Because oftentimes you don't want to. I try to. I think it's when the knight comes in here, because let's just play this. I think that the point is, if you come in here, then they have like knight jumps in here, and they are targeting this square, which can be very annoying at times. So that, and also the bishop with the knight jumping in here is also annoying at times. So yeah, anyway, that's one of the reasons why I don't want to bring the queen out early. You want to start with the knight. So that I'm just bringing that up because my opponent here is 1800. So you can't see the screen properly. My opponent here is 1800. So I jumped with this because I believe that he would know what to do. So takes. Oftentimes I don't like when they take, but it does open up things for white. I do think that is good. Yeah. So basically this was me fixing a mistake I did in my tournament game. Let me just take, yeah. you remove the defender of the pawn. So the knight defends the pawns here. So by playing that, he removes the defender of it. And okay, now he plays with queen, but that allows bishop. No, that bishop is incorrect. So pawn push c4. Why was I worried about this? I think so. I think that was what I was worried about. Yeah, if I was worried about that, then c4 is understandable. Why are we playing c4? Yeah, because the way the position looks after c4, again, without the queens on the board, you could argue that the king is safe in the center, but I don't know. Let me c4 here. I'll just take here because I see what the knight can do. And this is... I don't think I'm playing this well. My idea was I'm trying to open lines in the center. You definitely have to push this guy, right? You can't leave this pawn hanging there. Pawn push just seems right. This move. I don't know. I like this for whites. Let me just brief it on the engine. I like this for white. Wait, it's not? It looks nice for white, I'm telling you. Like optically for me, it looks okay. The only issue is the king's position, right? The queen and the bishop. But okay, with the knight here, I was thinking that I would eventually get like e4, f3, e4, and the king would probably be safe there. I don't know. I'm still like, the engine is saying it's bad. I can accept the engine's reasoning for why it's bad, but for some reason I still like this position. Call it my bad chess mind. I like it. I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm not saying this to joke in any way. I do like this position. But yeah, the major problem it's citing is actually a problem. Yeah, this pawn is stuck. Right? If you play f3, let's say f3 here. Is this where it becomes good for white? Yes, this is where so yeah, if this idea works, it's good for white. So how does black stop that whole idea? Pawn push doesn't work. If I was black, how would I do it? This is too slow. Bishop back? No, but bishop back pawn push still makes it good for white. Like, yeah, the point is don't let this pawn... I think the point the engine is trying to highlight is don't let this pawn survive. I think that's the point that the engine is trying to make here. Don't let the pawn survive. The other option I'm thinking about is here. But then again, this still happens. And knight takes. Pawn takes bishop back. And I still think this is good for white. Like, you get my point. That's really why this f3 move is really standing out to me. F3 is good here. No, F3 is not good here. So I don't want the engine to tell me what the move is immediately. I want to figure it out myself. Oh, I'm sure it has to be something simple I'm missing. Ah, I see it now. Knight takes, queen takes, and then here. I see it now. I'm sure people are tearing their heads in the chat wondering what's going on. That's the line. That's it. Knight takes, right? Yeah, knight takes d5. There's also b5. I thought b5 was actually bad. Let me see. Because b5, I thought you can just take here. And this is a 4. So I don't know. Oh, okay, you can just jump in here. Just no. This should be good for black, but it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I played the line wrong. Yeah, but that's very straightforward. Yeah, knight takes, and then knight takes, and then this. Wonderful. Stakes. And black wins the game. Very nice. Very nice. So let's go back. This is just a hypothetical position. I was saying that I like this position. But I was woefully wrong. The move from the opponent is here. So c5 is not, c4 is not very good over here. c4 is not very good over here. Okay. So takes. There's a pawn hanging, so you take the pawn. Oh, don't tell me. I think I missed this, right? I slightly remember this game. My opponent blundered a piece and I didn't see it. Okay. Knight jumps back. And what do I do here? Bishop to e2. Why not just c4? I think lots of rook, right? The thing is, like, even though you win the pawn and you are pushing, the rook is active and is very annoying, so you kind of want to prevent that. Okay. Defending the pawn. Okay, that's also fine. Castles, I mean, fine. The knight probably wants to come into this square. We can stop it. The bishop doesn't seem to have any prospects on this diagonal, so we can stop it this way. And this gives us the ability to go like e4, right? Give me a second. Now we can't go pawn push. So I think we just keep the position and then we go. Someone's trying to say something. Wait. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. Um, okay, so I think this would be fine. I think this should be fine. Pawn takes, possibly rook takes. I don't know. This is a problem. Bishop to d3 is a problem here. I was looking at bishop takes, but then there's like pawn push. No, that's completely fine. Pawn push, pawn takes. Okay, this is completely fine. So bishop takes. Let's say we go this way, then just pin. Okay, so there's no need to take with the rook first, because taking with the rook first allows this move, which after bishop takes here. Now the issue is, yes, you can take this, but the infiltration once again is what I'm concerned about. Maybe the infiltration is not that big of a deal, but it's something I'm very concerned about, or at least during the game I was very concerned about. But sincerely, especially with the way the pawns are oriented, it may not be easy for black to make headway, right? Headway. Did I say headway? Yeah, you jump in here, pawn push. And now an issue pops up. Again, this should be a non-issue, but for me, I'm so concerned about it for some reason. Because now we have pawn push. You can take here, right? And we can hide here. And that's about it. Like, where's the mate? I think I can even give my opponent the background here. Oh, look, I'm forgetting. Yeah. So if he comes in here, I can just start with this. Of course, you still go here with check here. King comes up first. We can check. And this is mate. Am I right? Let's say the king comes up. This is mate, right? Yeah, mate in 3. So we have bishop. We have the other bishop. And then we have mate. Yeah. There's nothing to be afraid of in this position. But I don't know. For me, these positions kind of like scare me. Especially when my opponent is seemingly very active. But that's what happens when you ignore like your advantages in a game. Like when you ignore your advantages in a game, then it starts looking as though your opponent has all the cards, when more or less they don't have anything to show for themselves, right? That's the issue. So I was scared for nothing here. Oh, but sorry, this is not actually the live position. The live position is from here. So yeah. And I think here I was recommended this move during the analysis when we did the brief analysis on that day. And this is supposed to be a Karpovian move. Sorry about that. I slept very early, if you understand what I mean. I slept around like 4 a.m., which is early in the morning. I slept very early. That's why I'm a bit groggy. And yeah, we do have somewhere down the line pawn push. So even if our opponent tries this, we have pawn push. Again, takes is not a good idea because it's guarded. Right? And jumping in here doesn't make any sense now. Takes, and then we are just going here. But yeah, I did not see this move. So what happened to me here was that like I was very scared of the position. And I was very scared of the position. And I was worried about my opponent coming in. I was worried about the knight forking my bishop and my rook. So I kind of panicked and I captured here, which gave my opponent entrance into my squares. And I didn't defend well. And like I had back rank checkmate problems here. And yeah, here should still be okay with for me. But I kind of messed the whole position up. And yeah, that was checkmate. I didn't want my opponent to get this because this is also like just losing. My opponent just hides here and I'm just lost. So I played that move and eventually that's what happened to me here. Yeah. So any questions? Oh boy. This might be a very short stream because I'm left with one more game. So any questions? Like you struggle analyzing your games, you don't know what to do in certain positions, anything like that. If you have anything like that, you can feel free to ask your questions. I will help in whatever way I can. Let's go this way. D4, D5. Which game was this? Okay, let's go. Oh, my opponent was using my own spells against me. Normally, like if your opponent plays the landing, you want to play this. But in this position, you could actually. Why haven't I ever tried that? Like oftentimes when I see this, I tend not to play this because I feel like this is just winning from our opponent. Why don't I just do this? Like this should be fine, right? C4 is just good here. C5 is just good here. But if your opponent comes to that, just wrong. Okay. Why have I never done that? Why am I now seeing this? Because every time when they do this, I just tend to just copycat and then play from there. Sorry. Okay, so C5 would be good. Our opponent can't jump in here. Basically because the knight is undefended. So maybe they play this move. We just play A6 here, right? We play like a Jubava landing, right? A6 may be good. Pawn takes, knight jumps in with the idea of E5. Knight jumps in, you pin. Mind you, all this I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm not using the engine yet. Yeah, the point being that this is supposedly okay. Right, you attack the bishop, you can win this guy if you so please. But is this good for black? I don't know, it feels loosey. Like the fact that this whole queenside castles comes around with the rook development, I feel like it's not the way I think it is. Yeah, plus 1.9. So where because I do maybe A6 is slow. Maybe you play here. I'm still thinking about this move, which is why I'm like hesitant towards playing. Or pawn push here. Bishop takes here. F. And what does the engine think about this? Still bad. Okay, so what's the way out of here? Sorry, not here. E3. Taking sounds okay, but this is an annoyance. I think a6 is the way. If a6 is not the way, a6 is the way. But after a6, let's say knight comes in first. We develop the knight as well. Pawn takes pawn push, I guess. b5 doesn't work. Knight here, I mean, just run into this. Ah, but you can't take because of 4. Actually, that'll be good, right? But if I take, we take with check. If you block with the queen, that's bad. If you move the king, bishop here. This should be good for black, even though black is down a piece. Yeah. Okay, so wait, so there's no issue bishop takes c5 because b4, bishop takes b4, not knight takes. Huh. What's the issue with knight takes? Ah, knight takes. Yeah, I see that now. So bishop takes, queen takes, and that's bad. Okay. So that isn't the move. So what does it recommend here? So after I played this, my opponent played this, then e6. Okay, so everything I played here is correct or is decent. Is there any other thing I would consider playing? Bishop g4, we've talked about that. Bishop g4 is to try and push e4. But if like there's h6 and you take and your opponent's queen takes, you can't like it's a tempo move, but it's very weakening because this pawn is going to be a liability. He's going to have 1, 2, 3 pieces attacking it. That's kind of like why the engine is speaking heavily against it. So you just want to play this. And I think we can then continue with this line. And I think this line I think you still go bishop takes. Yeah, you go bishop takes here and you're fine. But should you go queen a5? Queen a5 is best here. That's if your opponent goes for the pawn. He shouldn't go for the pawn, but if he goes for the pawn, that's what you do. Okay. So I played c6 because I was kind of afraid of c5. But now that I see, I don't know, for the life of me, I always felt like my opponent has this move. So this it's always been like a default in my head. It's really like today I'm considering it and I'm like, oh wait, that doesn't actually work. That's why I played c6, because I felt like, oh okay, the knight is coming in here. My opponent gave me a pawn. What's my opponent rating? Oh, 1200, okay. But this was very straightforward. Like, it's not like I don't want these straightforward wins. I want like the games where there was a struggle between my opponent and I. Okay, let's get since we are done with the games, let's try and get like one game in, like a 10 plus 5, and see if we can analyze it. Give me a second. Oh, what? Hey, my internet is slow. Let's see if we can get something in. Wouldn't it be funny if we get a position from what we analyzed? Sort of. Okay. I mean, it's 10 plus 5. My opponent is not calculating, which is like interesting. Now, for those who are wondering why he's not taking, whether taking here, if he takes with his pawn, I'll take with my knight, and if pawn takes, his rook is hanging. So right now he's trying to develop his back rank and castle so that taking doesn't come with a consequence to him. Okay. The same issue presents itself. And now I can take and I can have a passed pawn. Right. Now, mind you, this, if you put this position into an engine, the engine would be like white is winning, but I can 100% still mess this up. Right. So let me take this way. I was kind of thinking about pawn push, but let me just take this way and deal with my opponent's chances of the counter attack. I still think we play pawn push. Him bringing the bishop back disconnects his rook, though he can still castle. Okay. I have like two very simple plans I can play here. I also have to get myself castled. Okay, so far it's not an issue. Do I just go pawn push again just in case? The reason I don't want to put pawn push is like, I mean, it gets the rook stuck. Is there another way my opponent can defend against it? No, so we just go pawn push. I know I want to develop and like castle, but given this pressure to my opponent, now this rook is kind of like stuck, and he doesn't have a way to easily. Maybe I could be wrong, right? Yeah. Okay. Maybe this will work for him. Maybe this will work for him because he's getting like sort of like a pass. Yeah. sometimes this is how chess is in a nutshell. Like you would think that like my opponent is losing 10 years into the future, but it's very simply my opponent messed up in the opening. He played very sub. Again, I could 100% still lose this position. I don't want to sit here and be like I'm just 100% winning, but my opponent kind of messed up in the opening slightly. He gave me a decent opening to play, so that's why it's like the game is just flowing, right? Sometimes that's what happens in chess. Your opponent gives you a good position and I don't have to think much. This is just winning. Like you can see from my time I'm not calculating, because I've had this position 1,000 times. I know this position is winning. My opponent is not playing any move that my opponent is not playing a move that I did not expect. Right? Everything he's playing is a pattern I've seen thousands of times before. Like you can go back and watch all my streams from the beginning of time. You see me, or like not always, but you see me winning this position more often than not. So let's so again, this is an analysis stream, so we are going to go through the process of analysis. Though again, it's another straightforward win. I don't want these straightforward positions because I don't know, but you can still learn from it. So this is why you need to know your openings. I could play like a normal landing system here with e3, right? I wish I can move the pieces. Let me just go to analysis, but without the engine. So like you can be like brain dead and go for like a normal landing system. There's nothing wrong with that. But I realized that when you play again, sometimes I think that if I recall, the engine sometimes calls this inferior. Like playing like this, it considers it inferior. What am I saying? I think it because it prefers that you play it first or something like that. I don't know exactly, because this kind of like, I mean, it's sort of similar, but yeah. Recently, like I've been seeing, I've been learning what is called the Carlsbad pawn structure. And I've fallen in love with it, especially with the minority attack. And also because it leads to a position that I oftentimes end up winning in the landing system, which is if your opponent plays like a copycat variation, you simply go knight here and then queen here. And this is where the issue happens, or this is where the issue begins. Because you play pawn push, and once they take, you have a very strong attack on their queen side. You more or less may even get a pass pawn. The c pawn here is going to be the c6 pawn here is going to be very weak in certain lines, and I often win these games. Now the way my opponents often win this is, or they often like do well in this position is, let's say I go like this, they aim for this, splitting this pawn, right? That's often why you see pawn push being played first. Doesn't stop them from playing this, but the whole idea is you want to break in the center, make these pawns a little bit more loose, and you can counter in the center. If you watched my short where I was talking about this, you understand, right? So it's a pawn storm. Sometimes you want to counter in the center. This is one of the scenarios, or the case by case I was talking about. I said case by case so much in that short. In case you don't know the short I'm talking about, if you're on YouTube, you can just hop onto the YouTube and you see that short. So yeah, and this move, ideally, it doesn't do anything. It's not good. Again, for those who don't understand what I was saying, boom, that is it. That is it. Nothing more to say. King comes up, check. King comes here, bishop. It's just bad, right? So always be aware of that. Make sure that your back rank is safe. So this move sometimes I consider like very slow and a wasted move. Instead, he could have used that move to try and push his advantage in the center. I don't know if f6 is good here, but trying to get this pawn push is a very good idea. Trying to break in the center is a very, very good idea, often in this position. Let's go. b4, a6, b5. So ideally you want to like do this, right? And like I'm saying, this c pawn becomes a weakness. Now the a6 move here, it's kind of weakening because it's a target. And once again, if I play this and you're like, oh, I don't want him to take pawn push, right? And if you go knight back, doesn't really matter. Takes. Here I'll be a little bit careful. Because I don't think you can just jump in with this. But then you do have like something like this. But I think this is actually may not be the best. I think this may not be the best. I think it may not be the best. Maybe. I think you can go check, or you can even win this pawn. I think you can, because here. Okay, yeah, you don't even have that. You don't even have this check. So I think you have that liberty, and the reason why I'm highlighting this move is because now this is a passed pawn, and if you can push down this passed pawn, you are going to give your opponent a lot of trouble, right? In the game, I also looked briefly at what was it? I think before a6. No, not a6. Here. After this, my opponent can play this, and you want to play this move. I know the bishop is stuck, but you want to play this move. Eventually, you are going to get f3 in, which is going to force your opponent to make a move, and you want to replace it this way. You don't want to. You can't do it this way, but this kind of like helps in your defense against this pawn push. But ideally, you want to trade with the knight, because the knight can infiltrate more often than not, is what I see. And also this, don't forget that this pawn in some situations becomes backward, so you want to remaneuver your knight this way and target the weakened pawn. Ivor, how you doing? You know, when you joined the Discord, I realized it, and I was like, oh, I've been saying Ivor, I should be saying Iva, right? Because it's a shortened form of the full name, so maybe it should be Iva and not Ivor. But I'll take and continue cleaning the house. Hey, that's a responsible man right there. That's a responsible man right there. I myself will have to clean the house. Lagan, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. The regulars are dropping in. Good to see you. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, like I said, this thing is covering the let me make it smaller just for the chat to not look crazy. Okay. Yeah. I wanted it to be bigger so that it's more noticeable, but as well. Or I could. But you guys are late today. What can I do after dropping 60 rating points? Oh my goodness. I feel you. You know, I was 2053 and I dropped all the way down to 1971, right? I dropped down to 1971 or something like that, and I've grinded back all the way to 2000. I just won a game to 2005. Hopefully by the end of this month I can get to what's the name, 2100. That'll be cool for me. That will be cool for me. But it's good to see you guys. Always happy to see you guys drop by. Yeah. So, you know, this is not really like when you're analyzing a game, you have to like consider everything. But you see me talking like Gotham chess because like I'm serious. There's nothing strange that happened here. Like this is like me turning off my brain and just following a pattern. I'm serious. Like this game was so easy. I can't say again, it's my opponent who made it so easy. I'm not trying to disrespect my opponent in any way, but this game, the way this game happened was like you fools mating an opponent. They literally allowed you to checkmate them quickly. I'm about to be 1500 from 1370 before you even touch 2050. I mean, you can get to 1500 very quickly. Look, like there are certain small things you learn in chess. It just boosts your rating. You know, I could be wrong because I don't think I started chess at 900. I don't know. I have to go and check chess.com. But I don't think it's difficult to reach 1400. Not lichess, chess.com rating, because lichess you can easily get to 1600. The reason is because when you learn basic things like the basic tactics, end games, because most beginners don't know end games, and in the end game they are just flaying about. They don't know what is going on. So you learn basic end games like king and pawn versus king, king and rook versus king, bishop and knight. If you think it's harder, you can wait a bit, but bishop and knight checkmate, king and queen, pawns on both sides of the board, Points separated by one file, pawns separated by two files, opposition. Like, okay, opposition may be a little bit too far, but when you study those positions, you study how to checkmate, you study tactics, pins, forks, skewers, X-ray, attraction. I think these are very simple ones. Like, you just, maybe I'm mentioning too many things. I want to make it simple. Let's say you know pins, forks, skewers, you know king and pawn, you know king and rook, you know pawn separated by one file, pawn separated by two files. Then you understand activity and you can count. I think you can just easily get to 1200. I think you can just easily get to 1200 because what you often see is they are hanging pieces. That's one. I'm not even talking about openings because these days the beginners have memorized 20 moves of the opening, so they are like gods in the opening, right? But they lack in positional understanding, they lack in tactical understanding, right? So once you get that, then it's like you just boost from there. You know way more than it. There, eventually you get there. Eventually you get there. The thing is this: there's knowing and there's understanding, right? You may know a lot of positions, you may know a lot of chess advice, but understanding it is what blows your mind. Like if I tell you that, oh, in some situations double pawns are good, you may just play double pawns are good like that. Yeah, oh, he said double pawns are good, so I can play double pawns. You'd play it like that, but once you understand why it's good, it blows your mind. So I think most often the problem is that most chess players know a lot but understand little. So they can quote like me, like the way I also quote. Like they can quote grandmasters, they can quote books, and they can say, oh, Aliakin said this, Kautal said this, Bobby Fischer said this. They can quote, oh, when you see this, do this. They can make those quotes, but they don't understand what they are saying at all. Like there's a reason why those quotes exist. Why? Okay, knight on f8 can't be made. Why? It's not just because it's protecting the h7 square, right? So why do the quotes exist? You get it. So once you understand it in chess, you just start increasing your rating. So you have to practice it. Just keep practicing it. Try. And that's the process people don't like, because anytime you learn something new in chess, your rating drops because now you are trying to apply it. Right? Whenever you learn something new in chess and you try and apply it, your rating drops. Because for example, when I first learned about when I first learned about the chess elements, I always talk about these things. When I first learned about the chess elements, when I'm watching my games, I'm looking for imbalances. I'm trying to figure out how to take advantage of the imbalances. My time just runs out. My opponent washes the floor, wipes the floor with me. And it was heartbreaking because you drop like 100, 150 rating points. Now, if you go back to your default sentence, you get back to that rating, but then you'll be stuck there. So you have to actively involve yourself in trying to apply the new things that you are learning. And then once you understand it by trial and error, you get back to your rating and then you shoot beyond that. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of chess. But most people think that they learn and they should win. You wonder whose faces you are seeing when you say this. A lot of people. You still lose because of like 5 move calculations. I don't know how to say this. You know, I'm coming to quote someone, but I say, what, I only say the next move is the best move. It's kind of a lie, but it's kind of true. How would I put this? How would I put this? You see, for example, somebody's challenging me here on a rated quarter. If I play him, I'll lose 100%, right? Of course, I only play viewers on Fridays. I'm considering adding more days to play viewers, or maybe streaming that at night. But even though he's 900, there's a likeness I'll 100% lose this game. Yeah, but I don't like you are 900. I don't know if that's your actual rating or like that's your rating for Super Blitz or something like that. But stop playing that. Like, I don't understand why you are 900, 1200, 1400, 1500 and you are playing Blitz or Bullet. Like, that does nothing for you. It does nothing for you. Like, I'm serious. You are just wasting your time. If you actually want to improve in chess, don't be playing that. Don't, because that translates into your long play games. That's what it translates into it, and you start messing up like an idiot. I recall when I was learning, when I was in my growth phase of chess, I was like around like 1500. I was playing against a beginner, like over the board, and we were playing 10 plus 5. And the guy was like, what am I thinking? It's a simple move. And I was looking at the guy like, you just started playing games. What makes you think that you know better than me? Right? It's like, what makes this guy think that he knows better? Like, you just started learning chess and you are telling me that I should just play, I shouldn't think. Like, bro. Oh goodness. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to learn and can't find out why these things happen. Eventually you get it. Again, this is why I like, bro. What helped me, again, like I always say, I've not been coached, but what helped me was the advice of friends. I had a friend, like the way, like I had a friend. He was can I say his name? Maybe I won't say his name. But he was called the Combined Harvester. That was his nickname in Ghana chess, right? Because he was just eating everybody's rating, so he was called the Combined Harvester. And I don't know, he used to like me a lot. He's a very good guy. I've lost his contact. I'll try and see if I can get in contact with him again. You play 15 plus 0. Yeah, that's good. 15 plus 10 would be much better. But 15 plus 10 is 15 plus 0 is good. 15 minutes it's good. I mean, getting 30 minutes of gameplay is good because it's a good workout for your brain. And he gave me some tips because he noticed that I knew a lot. I kept quoting. I would say, oh, there's this opening. This is this variation. This is that. He was like, bro, stop with the theory, like learning names of things. And no, he said, learn one opening, stick to that opening, and focus more on improving your calculation, your tactics, your understanding of chess positions. That was all he said. That was literally all he said. So I was learning the Italian at the time. I took my time to learn 5 to 10, at some point 15, depending, 5 to 10 moves of the Italian, and I only played the Italian. And I would spend majority of my time analyzing the games. So I could spend like an hour analyzing one game. I would play like 1 or 2 games in a day, and I would spend a lot of time analyzing. And this is what analyzing does. The position gets locked in your mind, and the next time you see it, you know what to do. You have to hear from ChatGPT. Yeah, I think the AI have come to short, like right this is, we're going to have a lot more 1800s very quickly. E4, E5 is the way. Depends. Now again, these openings lead to positions. You can get every kind of position in every kind of opening, but I feel like D4 and C4 give you more positional, solid positions. E4 leads you into more tactical positions. Am I saying D4 doesn't have sharp, aggressive openings? No, you can get them, but majority of the openings in D4 and C4 tend to be positional. And I like positional chess, which is why eventually, at a point, I was stuck at 1400, and then I started learning the London system. Now, the funny thing about the London is I never learned the London. I thought I created the London. I thought the London was my own opening. Until I played it in a tournament, and the person was like, oh, you played the London? I was like, no, it's my own opening. Before I actually learned the London. So I moved from E4 because I didn't like the tactical games that came out of it. And then I switched to D4. I'm very intrigued with C4 these days. I'm very, very intrigued with C4 these days. 1 year ago, yeah, most people, I think the best way to start chess is to start learning from the Italian. The Italian is one of the best openings to get started with chess because it covers the basics of good development in chess. E4, bishop C4, knight F3, castles kingside, move the queen to D2, double the rooks. Sorry, knight C3, double the rooks. Bishop wherever, double the rooks. It's good opening. It's a good opening lesson if you want to start learning chess. So every single time I have a student, I recommend the Italian for them. But after I train them for a while and they get good at chess, I now recommend an opening based on their style. As a coach, you can tell you can tell your students style. I had these 2 kids, a brother and a sister, some of my best students ever. The guy was very attacking, the girl was very passive. So I had to recommend the French for her, and I recommended like the Caro-Kann as black, and that's why I recommended him Queen's Gambit and those kinds of stuff. So that's basically it. So I moved away from E4. That's why these days I don't play E4. I don't like the positions that come out of E4. That's what I don't like the positions that come out of E4. Yeah. So this game, my opponent literally gave it to me. It's something that happens, and you would think it's like, when did he make the mistake? I would say if I would say, like, this is not even bad. Like, all this is not bad, but this is automatically good for white. Like, if we turn on the engine here, the engine will be like plus 0.5 or something. Yeah, this is already good for white. It's like 0.6 here, but this is like crazy good for white. Like, at this point, in my opinion, again, if maybe a top player would disagree with me, but with my understanding of chess, if you give me this position, black is fighting for a draw. My mind can change. My mind has changed on so many things as I improved in chess, right? So for me, this position is automatically favorable for white, and black is playing for a draw. Again, if black does go for the central idea, it's easy to get that draw or to even win, right? Because I have lost this position before. I don't want to make it look like the moment you get this, you're 100% winning. But yeah, so this is not even that bad, because 0 plus 0.6 is not that bad. But again, the position that follows through is the issue. Where I would say my opponent erred was a6. I think a6 is too slow. Yeah, like, oh, but it's one move, bro. Chess and one move is crazy. Chess and one move is crazy. Chess and one move is crazy. Two moves in chess cry is even too big. Like, dashing your opponent 2 moves, that's like, oh boy. I think Magnus Carlsen once said that if you are 1 move away from castling, you are fine. If you are 2 moves away from castling, it could go either way. If you are 3 moves or more, you are dead. He said, he made a statement like that. I can't remember how he made that statement. But 2 moves in chess is big. French defense has a risk of the trap bishop in the advanced variation, for sure. But I didn't know, because I wanted to teach her the Scandi, but the Scandi is not for beginners. I don't think a Scandi is something to teach a beginner. It's not something for beginners. Because you are giving your opponent like 3 moves. 1, 2, 3. It's not an opening for beginners. You have to understand what's going on. So mostly, anyone playing the Scandi is mostly playing on the defensive. Then he can try and retort. So if you can't play that kind of style, I don't recommend it for you. So I think a6. So if I was to turn on the engine here, I think a6. Boom. a6 is the top engine move here. But it's just bad. It's just not good. Right? So like, I don't know. If you were to ask me what my, maybe another bad move is pawn push. Pawn push, I think, is also another bad move. Let me see. Pawn push is also another bad move, right? Yeah. You like. Sometimes the engine is annoying because it will tell you that, oh, it's even, but if you leave it for a while, it doesn't consider the position even. So yeah. Bishop back is also another bad move. Like, bishop back is also another bad move. Bishop back is also another bad move. But you like I can't really tell. Like, just well. Like, this game was handed to me on a silver platter. I don't know how else to explain it to you. This game was handed to me. So I don't even know if I should analyze it, because I don't like, it's all inaccuracies, like small inaccuracies from my opponent, and that's how I won. Because I mean, you hide here, then you get hit with this, and yeah, life is life. So you can even hide here, you get hit with this, you go here, and I still promote. But you take, I take, I take, and there's still a pass pawn incoming. Boom, boom, pass pawn, whatever you do, I'm still winning. Understand that? Yeah. They are the ones who can put the best use in an engine. I think there's a way we have to use the engine, and it's more of like, because there's no one around to help us, we should use the engine, kind of. But we shouldn't go too deep. Some of us, like, there's a guy in Ghana chess. He's doing very well, but I feel like once people catch on to him, it's going to affect him. I've mentioned his name a lot, Miracle Morris, Josh Tigo. He's good, but I feel like a lot of his goodness comes from his prep. And prep is something in chess. So this is not to say that, oh, because he prepped, that's why he wins games. That's a stupid thing to say, because chess is a game of strategy. Right? If I can prepare properly, that's good, right? But it seems like a lot of his things come from prep, right? So if his opponents catch on, if his opponent catch on to that and they start playing against him in that view, he has to hope his positional understanding of chess is good. And I don't know if his positional understanding of chess is good, but I do see that he has like, I don't know, I feel like I'm the only one who thinks that he's actually good at chess. I don't know, because some people don't think he's good. I don't know. For me, I think he's good. I think he's very good at chess. Understanding. Okay, I've already seen that. Yeah. So he seems to prevail over his opponents due to prep. So in closed tournaments, he's going to struggle because in open tournaments, you don't know who is coming. So prepping may not be that necessary, unless of course you are targeting someone. It's like you look at the roster and you're like, oh, this guy, I want to be this specific guy and prep against him, right? But in an environment where everybody is prepping, like in the top level, his prep is not going to work for him. So if his positional understanding is bad, it won't do well for him, right? So using the engine in the prep that kind of thing may not be as useful for us. I mean, one day Red Panda Chess will see my videos. I literally want him to one day. Of course, I don't get views, so it will take a while. But one day Red Panda, I really want to see what Red Panda thinks about the chess advice I gave. I really do want to see what he thinks about the chess advice I gave, sincerely. Anyways, let's go. So I don't know about this game. Yeah, so like I said, I'm doing analysis. So if you have a game you want help analyzing, we can do it together. Mind you, once again, if you send the game, I'm not the only one going to be analyzing. I'm analyzing with you. So it's more questions than answers. Okay. So let's get another game in. Hopefully, maybe I lose that game or something, so that we can like, oh, not this again. What's the internet doing? Maybe hopefully it's like a game I don't do well in, so that we can look at my mistakes. Yeah, it will come back. I pray I'm not like disconnected. Yeah. So. PGN, I think you can send the link. I think you can send the link, and if it doesn't work, just let me know. Because I gave Nightbot that if the person sends too many links, so I think you can send at least one link. So if the link doesn't work, you can send a PGN. If that doesn't work, you can just join. I think you're already on the Discord. Someone says hi. Yay! Someone says hi. Hi to everybody who says hi to me. But please never do this. Please just never do this. Like the moment I see a demand, like now, I'm less likely going to mind you. So I'm waiting for Lagan, because if I click this, we'll be here for a while. So let me just give Lagan like 5 minutes, and then if he hasn't sent one, then I'll just click 10+5. Oh boy. But that's the thing. That's how you improve in chess. Chess takes time to improve. That's one of the things you understand. If you're in a hurry to improve in chess, you'll be very disappointed. Right? And anytime I've tried to learn something new and I've tried to apply it, my rating always drops. So just be like, chess growth looks like this. It's of 65 moves. We'll look at what is relevant, so don't worry about it. Yeah, chess growth looks something like, let me just go to my wrap. Let's go to all time. This is what chess growth looks like. You are going to dip, right? You are going to dip. Now this is not good. I feel like this is not so accurate because oh, you can send anyone, don't worry. The reason I'm saying that this is not accurate is because I was on chess.com for a while before I joined lichess. So by the time I joined lichess, it was like I just rose, right? But I plateaued at a point, and then eventually I came back up. So maybe it would be better to check. Let me chess.com. Will it be clear here? But chess.com is around this side. Yeah, let's see chess.com. Chess.com. Loco, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Where's profile? Is this profile? Or this screen? Can't remember anything. This profile, right? Wait, I joined in 2016. That means I was in university. Interesting. I've not played on chess.com in a very long time. Very, very long time. I played one game recently and I just drew it. Let's go all time. I think chess.com might be. Yeah, so it's kind of similar. Yeah, so I never started at 900. Yeah, so again, you can't send a PGN. Oh, send the or copy the text and then paste it. You don't send it as a PGN. Send it as a text. So copy the text and other variations of what? Because I play quite a number of openings. I just stick to what I'm comfortable with. So I played the London. I played the King's Indian Defense. I played the Italian. I played the Spanish. I play the Antiphilidors. I play the what's it called? I play the Caro-Kann. I play Sicilian, specifically like the Najdorf, not open Sicilian, Najdorf. I play the what's it called? Holly Zuckertwort, the Trampowski, the Collie. And Queen's Gambit Decline. Like I play a lot, but mostly when it comes on stream, you see me play exactly the same thing. That's basically because I'm more confident with those. YouTube doesn't let you send it. Oh boy, are you on the Discord? You can send it on the Discord. You can send it on the Discord. I don't know why. Because last time you sent it, right? Or it's because it's too long. Okay, then send Oh, you mean dice, chess, or Baghouse? I mean, the only reason I played those variations was because of my my students. They used to like it a lot, so just to encourage them, I would play it. But the variations I do play on my own is the variations. The variation I play is chess 960. I really liked spell chess, but it's a very long time I played spell chess. It's been a very long time I played spell chess. So I could play. Which one is it? Baghouse? Is that Baghouse? The one where you capture and then you still have your pieces and you can put them back on the board. I think that's Baghouse. I'm not so sure. But I've played all of them. I personally like chess 960 and then spell chess, but I've not played spell chess in a while. You also love classical? Nice. Variations. I mean, they are fun, but I don't know if they improve your chess ability. I don't know. Yeah, but this is how chess improvement will look like. Let me read my blitz and see. Yeah, blitz is much more crazy. Yeah. Okay. Or if you can send like the first 30 moves, then we can look at that one as well. We can send the first 30 moves, then you can send the other 2 later or something like that. Just or like something like that. Okay. While we wait for Lagan, let's see how Gukesh is doing. You are sending it on Discord, no problem. Let's see how. I'm sincerely, I'm very worried for Gukesh. I spoke about it yesterday. I spoke about it yesterday. I'm very worried for Gukesh. I pray he finds a reason to keep fighting. I mean, he is still fighting, like the way he keeps playing tournaments and everything. He's still fighting, but I don't know. I don't know. I pray for the best for him. He's, I mean, so let's, okay, we can use it to learn. So let's say I end, unfortunately I turn on the engine. Okay, let's check. I could be wrong because these are high level games, but let's say you hopped on a game. This is a very symmetrical game, except for the bishop and the rook. This is a very symmetrical game. Okay, wait, sorry. The knight, the queen, and then the rook, they are all on different squares. But the pawn structure is symmetrical, which is also key. The pieces are... So, let me check the Discord. If you are sent it, then we'll continue from there. Okay, so Lagan, that's Lagan. You can just post it in. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm jumping. Yeah. So what would you do? So I always like to use the elements of chess to give myself a brief overview of a position, because I don't know much of what I'm seeing here. So first you calculate the pieces, right? So we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Please, the kids, don't do what I think you're about to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have seven minor pieces, major and minor pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we see equal number of pieces on the board, right? Next, we look at the quality of pieces on the board. And by quality, we look at the value of the pieces. But we realize that, okay, 2 rooks, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 knights, 2 bishops, 2 bishops. So it's the same thing. Okay, you sent it. Then the next thing we look at is activity of those pieces. So when we compare white pieces and black pieces, which ones are more active? The one with the more active pieces has the slightly better position. We look at king safety and we look at potential plans. So this position, I would like to say that it's equal because everything is symmetrical. The two differences here is what I'm not so sure about, but it would be primarily equal. But maybe I might give a little to white. I don't know, but it could be equal and a little. Okay, I'm wrong. But it's minus 0.3 means it's equal. But more in black's favor. Anyway, so if sent it, let me look at that. My girlfriend doesn't play chess. She knows how the pieces move. So we are going. Okay, so we are going to play. And she's winning. Oh, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's cool that you have a girlfriend. Whoa, that is the longest game ever. Okay, so let's go to analysis board. Is dice chess the one where when you roll a dice, it tells you how many moves you can make, or is it the one where it tells you which piece you can move? I kind of get confused. Like, you roll the dice and it tells you what piece you can move, or you roll the dice and it tells you how many moves you can make, like the Uno chess that people have been doing recently. Sorry. How do you do that? Oh. Import game, sorry. Okay. I kind of forget which one is dice chess. Boom. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay. Let's go. So I know nothing about this game. As always, we turn off the engine. Don't be using the engine. It's a crutch if you are always dependent on it. You have 3 dices and which 3 pieces you roll, you need to go, and all 3 goals is captured again. Okay, I get it. E4, E5. Okay, I have given up on this opening. Okay, we have black here. You found the website? Oh, okay, cool. So this is a reverse London, but it's an Italian. Knight C6. So again, there is nothing. Again, when I say this, there is nothing wrong with Knight C6. There's absolutely nothing. I'm saying this I'm prefacing all this because I feel like people get, when you say something else, people are like, the thing is, sometimes in chess, you want to force your opponent's reaction. Again, you can play Knight C6 for the rest of your life, you will never die. But sometimes in chess, you want to force your opponent's reaction. Now, if you play Knight C6, You see it later. You have to go. Yeah, you can always watch the stream, right? You see knight c6, but I would have preferred to have like a discussion, right? You see knight c6, and your opponent can like do whatever it is he wants to do, right? He can now develop his knight, and then he can castle, right? You could play your bishop here and then he castles, right? But sometimes in chess there's something you can do, which is you can make your opponent make a move. So now that you're attacking your opponent can't just say, oh, I'm going. Of course, Petrov defense. I know Petrov people, don't stress me out here. But the point here is you get something like this, right? So more often than not, when you're playing against like newbies, they would have to play a defensive move, either with the pawn or with the knight. And you've kind of bought yourself some time. So what do you realize here? Bishop, knight, black castles first. But let's go back. And then we play, for example, knight. Our opponent goes in knight. We go bishop, white castles first. It's not to say that the fact that you castle first means that you're suddenly winning the game, but you can see how the turnaround can happen, right? Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll do that maybe off stream, right? But it's just something to take note of, right? It's something to take note of. Sometimes you want to force your opponent's reaction. Calculation in chess is difficult when there are so many things your opponent can do. But when you can force your opponent's response, calculation is much more easy. Right? So I'm not always calculating everything. Sometimes what you're looking for is forcing moves, because the forcing moves make it easier to know what your opponent is going to do, and you can hone in on that calculation rather than the plethora of things that could happen, right? So again, you can do this for the rest of your life, nothing will happen. Again, you can even play it here. Your opponent will have to defend, but then again, still your opponent castles first. Not to say that castling first means that you're suddenly winning, but you get the whole thing about it's called tempo, right? So one of the things you can do when you are stuck in this position is to go d5, because you are just going to get hit with this. So you just want to go d5, give up the pawn. If bishop takes, why not? Takes, boom. It's kind of equal. Takes, rook here, boom. If that's what your opponent allows to happen. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Okay, so nice. He does play d5, takes, and then he jumps. That's also a move. That is also a move. Wait. Is that a Traxler? Let me see. Oh no, his opponent played pawn takes. Sorry. Pawn takes, you can still also go this way. Bishop takes, you can still go this way. But I think you drop, like the position here may not be favorable to, like, you may not like to play a position like this, maybe. Castles, just this. Your opponent can do this though. Like, it's a messy position. So I don't know. So yeah, this is also something that you can do. Bishop comes in, pawn push. Pawn takes. What kind of player are you, Lagan? B takes, okay. You like these messy positions. If you are starting in chess, I would say play knight takes and see if your opponent is the one who spoils the structure for you. Something like that. Because if they don't, then you can, for example, let's say they go like this. You could do something like this, or you could do something else and see what they do. But of course, in most cases, your pawns are going to be split. The thing is, your knight isn't looking too good over here. Because this can happen, and now your knight isn't looking too good over here, right? Your opponent is threatening B, which is not that good, but it's a tempo move, right? Because like let's say you play like bishop here, they can play B, you jump in here, now they develop with tempo. Sorry, the bishop is there. Sorry, that's a very bad move from me. You could still do that. If you want to develop with tempo, but again, it's not a good idea. Actually, wait. B4. Bishop takes, like an Evans gambit, right? We can go like an Evans gambit here. I don't know about that. Hey, Gary, thanks for the follow. Do appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Maybe you can go for this Evans gambit idea. Still, I would read this position differently. But yeah, that's all fine. Okay, very good. Knight d5, threatening to win the knight here. Your opponent has d4. I mean, d4 is too straightforward. But the point is to open the bishop's defense of the knight. Yeah, that's basically it. D4, let me just look at d4. D4 takes, queen takes. Do we have something here like bishop check? No, we don't have that. Oh, but we don't have that. Okay. What about pawn push? What about pawn? No, we don't have pawn push. The bishop blocks us. Okay. Yeah, that's why I feel like leaving this is uncomfortable. So if you're not able to handle that, just play this. And if your opponent takes, it's a bad position, but you don't have to deal with that kind of thing, right? Okay, so yeah, so we are here. Knight jumps back, and now we have to play normal chess. Our pawn here is hanging. You could go queen here if you want, but maybe that might be. You could also pin. Your opponent plays this, you go back, and if they follow you, it's not always that this is a bad idea from white, but at least you kind of can tell some. Now your weakness here becomes a strength, because if your opponent tries to go queenside, you have open files, your bishop is in the position, you can easily attack your opponent here. I hope I'm not going too far with the analysis. I feel like I'm confusing people. But is anyone having a question so far about anything I've said? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Is anybody having any question about anything I've said? Yeah, I like that move. Knight there is also a fine move. If anyone has a question, you can feel free to ask. Okay. Knight there is very good. The reason why I wouldn't like default play knight here immediately is, first of all, my opponent can take it, and I have double pawns here, which may not be the best. Of course, if my opponent castles, I castle as well, so there's no big of a threat there. But sometimes you want your opponent to make a bad move, kind of. Again, this allows knight takes here. I think he's looking at this. I think that's where his idea is coming from. But there's so many things to calculate here. For example, like takes here, I'm attacking the knight now. If you move the knight back, there is takes here. I'm forking the two of them, and it's not just that I'm forking the two of them. There's a threat here, right? So again, I don't think it's like winning or something like that, but it's something you have to consider, because let's say the queen moves away here. You can take here with check. Your knight there is hanging, and all sorts of funny business can happen. So you have to calculate. Like, sometimes it's not just about the fact that, oh, it's hanging, I have to defend it or something. It's not always like that straightforward. Oh, I have to castle here. Sometimes you just have to ask yourself, what else can I do in the position? So these are all things we'll look at with the engine, but right now we are just going through the lines and seeing it. Don't be worried if you're analyzing a bad move. It's good to consider things, right, and see where the flaw in your calculation comes from, right? Takes, so that's what he goes for, and now you see a slight issue. Of course, queen comes in here, is completely fine. He goes offensive. I could be wrong, but this move looks wrong. So what's wrong with queen takes here? Because if your plan is to spoil my pawn structure, in this position I have this move. And then, because now if you play bishop takes, I take here, and now we have two attackers. And this position is like just good for white. So what could be his plan here? This bishop here doesn't feel right. Because it's not by force for me to. Because takes, bishop comes in here, I can simply go takes. There's no stress. Pawn push, I can simply go takes. Bishop takes, I can simply come in here. And there's no counter. Like, there's no check. There's no, like, strange counter for me here. There's nothing. There's nothing here. That's just like giving your opponent a pawn. Right? So, the second thing is, I was mentioning something. That if you play here, your opponent has this. The second thing is, of what I was trying to say is, beginners will not be comfortable with this move. But yeah, you can go this way with the queen. You would much better like the position if you can force your opponent to make this move. That's what I'm trying to draw. That's the second thing I was trying to draw. If you can force your opponent to make this move, then coming in here is much better. Now, why? Simply because you've given your opponent a slight weakness in the pawn structure. They can't play pawn push immediately because of takes. And you can slot in your bishop here now, and maybe you can use it to your advantage in the future. Right? So that's another thing. Sometimes you want to, the threat is stronger than the execution. Sometimes you want to what's the word? Sometimes you want to goad your opponent into weakening their position. So sometimes you realize that in these grandmaster games, the player makes a move, causing his opponent to react in a certain way, and then he just moves back. That was the point. The point was so that move would be made, right? You may be like, oh, if I play this, he just brings this, so it's not necessary. It may be necessary, right? Hook pawns, for example, in aggressive chess are a blessing, right? So these are things you would like want to look at. Takes here, and yeah, and that's exactly what happens in the game. Yeah, and now you have a very big issue to deal with. You have a very big issue to deal with. So now queen has to defend. Nice. I like the defense with the attack. I like that. I like that. I like that. I know it's like the simplest thing to do in this position is to go bishop g3. That's the simplest thing. The other thing you could do is to go this move. Again, it's not a big deal. The reason it's not a big deal is simply because there's no pawn that can trap this bishop. But then you have to consider this. At least you would have to consider this, right? So the simplest move is to just simply go back. And then if your opponent takes, you take back. These are weaknesses for the end game. You don't have to worry if you can't do anything about them now. Bishop comes in here. Like I said, these are not big deals for you. You've opened up the file. This position would be good for white, right? White's even 2 pawns up in the first place. Yeah. So here, oh, his opponent gives it to him. Yeah, that's just bad. That's just losing. No, wait. There's bishop takes, right? Bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. Yeah. Bishop takes. Bishop takes. Oh, he missed bishop takes. Bishop takes, for example, you could play this and then threaten checkmate. Right? And if your opponent plays pawn push, you could go this way. And if they go pawn push again, you could go this way. And if they go this way, you could go this way. I'm playing lousy moves at this point. Don't mind the follow-up moves I'm making here. You straightforward want to create the weakness and then go this way. Straightforward, you are fine. Your opponent takes is not an issue. You can simply continue the position there. The reason I did this, I wanted to make the queen capture it, but yeah. But yeah, after this, I think you just take it. Yeah, I think you just take it. I don't know if you'd want to actually play a move like this, because queen takes, or just the rook comes out or something. Yeah. But maybe you just want to take here immediately, because helping your opponent make that pawn push allows them like a way out in case of like back rank checkmate. So let's say your opponent takes here. Bring the bishop back. Pawn push. Like, this is the best square. I don't see a big benefit of bringing the bishop here. Oh, wait. Wait. We just have this move, right? And we are attacking the knight. The knight can't move forward because it's trapped. So the queen would have to come in. The queen can't even defend it. So let's say the bishop comes back to defend it. This would be... yeah, this would be good for us. Yeah, so... yeah, that was a poison pawn. I think white wins the position after this. I mean, the other line is like takes this way, and regardless of where you move, we take with check, right? If you go up, we can come in this way. This will just be bad, like regardless of where you go. If you block with yeah, like you have nothing you can do. If you come in this way and we take here, you block with the bishop, that's just game over. Yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, so queen f5. Wait. He developed the knight, then he castles here. Now you lose it. Okay, he's attacking the knight. Bishop defense, knight attacks the knight, but that's bad because you're spoiling your pawn structure. Knight takes, pawn takes, you spoiled your pawn structure. Rook comes in to defend. Bishop comes back. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but the bishop is kind of trapped. You can't play pawn push here. Your opponent could also just play this, and now this is not a piece. Like, this is out of the game for some time now. Queen comes in. Oh, that's what actually happened here. Queen comes in. Queen comes in to defend the pawn. h3, fine move from your opponent. Bishop attacks the rook. Too ambitious. Oh, actually no, not too ambitious. Actually very fine. Yeah, because this guy's hanging. Queen comes in, takes. And the bishop runs away. Why? 1 second. I keep getting texts and stuff. Yeah, but if you're enjoying the stream so far, if you're learning something, always remember to subscribe, follow. It really does help me out. Yeah. Okay. So this is fine by white, but white is not playing well. White is not playing very well. Black is doing very good job here. A very good job here. That's a very nice one. Because if you played here, you're just getting hit with this. Very nice one. Okay. The small decisions do matter. Yeah. His opponent was over aggressive. It happens. Sometimes you get too desperate and you start making back. What? You don't need to keep the pawn. You don't. Like, so I said you don't need to, like, you are targeting this guy. So if he takes, you just take this. Right? Yeah, he actually just helps his opponent get active. Next move is this. Because the pawn is hanging, I don't know if your opponent would want to try something like this because the pawn is hanging. Because pawn push is what he's looking for. Okay, no, you'd play this. Yeah, you'd play this, then rook comes in, then king defends. Okay. Oh wait, no. So what did I say? Why did I say you play that? You can't defend the pawn. Yeah, so maybe you'd have to attack the bishop, and maybe try and push for like a promotion here. You get hit with this pawn push. Bishop comes in here trying to prevent pawn push again. Wow, I'm going too far. But let's just move through. I'm over calculating at this point. That takes. Okay. So now you have, oh, you would love to play this move, but this move is annoying. But as it stands now, your opponent, if your opponent wants to promote, he would have to do this. Check. What is white doing? I think white is even winning at this point. Yep, you don't need to get yourself stuck here. Try and get your king forward. Don't get yourself stuck behind. Okay, I think maybe he's worried about... Nah, that doesn't even exist. Yeah. Check. Check. Okay. That just loses a rook. No, it doesn't lose a rook, sorry. But you attack the rook moves. You go up. Yeah, and now black is the one. Black is the one pushing. Yeah. Oh, check. And that's it. That's the game. Bro, this was one of the most topsy-turvy things I've ever seen in my life. Like, this was crazy. This was crazy. At the point, I think black was doing well, then white took over. No, I think white was doing well, then started messing up, then black took over. Then white had a counter attack and then messed it up. Like, it's crazy. Like, why would you rush this? Like, boom. Boom. Your opponent can't stop it. Your opponent can't stop it. Why are you going to take the bishop? No, you have to take here. And now it's a bishop and a rook versus a bishop. That's completely winning. Like, I don't know how... Okay, wait. There's this move. Yes, there's this move. But still, like, even if rook takes here, you still have pawn push, right? Takes, and it's a queen versus a bishop. Like... Yeah, and if you continue checking me, I just keep hiding myself. And you can see I'm always going through the light squares. Like, this was just sad. So we can use the engine to look at like one of the moves we spoke about. Yeah, this move is not that relevant. Yeah, so knight f6. Yeah, it's not a move you want. It's not a move you want to do. Knight f6 is not a move you want to do. Just let's do that on Friday, okay? Let's do that on Friday. Yeah, you don't want to do this move. First of all, bishop takes just spoils your position, so that move is bad. We've already established that. Queen comes in. Yeah, this move was also bad. That loses the second pawn. Queen takes f4. Yeah. So here, boom. Yeah, this was completely winning. Bishop takes c6. Yeah, bishop takes c6 was completely winning. Okay. castles, queen comes in. Where did I say black? Yeah, takes take. This is bad for white because he loses a pawn and he doubles his structure. So yeah, now the engine says it's equal. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking if what I was saying about the position is correct, right? So everywhere I'm seeing that the position is changing, we are seeing it happen live. Yeah, how does the engine rate c5? I think c5 is very good. Oh, it doesn't like c5. It wants g6 first. The reason for c5 is because you lock out the bishop, and the bishop is very bad. But fine. Pawn push here. Oh, why? Sorry, lagging a bit. The next position I felt was here takes, which was correct. Then here. Then you just play bishop takes a3, right? Yeah, bishop takes a3. That under attack, you can defend, you can move this way, but then yeah, equalize your material. Takes here, check here. He didn't play bishop. I thought you played bishop first, right? Because bishop d4 creates a threat immediately. Oh, I actually missed this move. Okay. But then rook e2 because you take with check. That's kind of like what we are looking at. Okay. Takes here, check here. Wait. Okay, the bishop is okay. Check here, pawn push, and white is winning here. Black is still winning. Black is still winning. Because I looked at bishop here. Why did I say bishop here doesn't work? Because bishop here just works. Bishop here, you can't do anything. If you try to pin the bishop, you just take this. You can't take that way. Actually, wait, that's fine. So if you try and pin, okay, if you try and pin the bishop, we come in this way. If rook takes, king takes, we can't push the pawn. Yeah, you can't push the pawn. Yeah. So if you come in this way, blocking here also doesn't work because rook takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. Yeah. Okay. So it's bishop, right? Bishop to d6. Yeah, bishop d6 is what stops it. But check here. This was his mistake. His mistake was checking. Because now it gives, because like the point is after this move, your rook is under attack, so you have to make a move, right? So because the rook has to move now, then that's what happened. No, actually you still play bishop. So the mistake was this. And here we go. Yeah, and that's how you lose the, okay. Nice. Yeah, but did he see the right thing? Did he see bishop d6? What happened? Let me recall what happened. Because at the point I felt like white had. No, before the pawn promotion here. Yeah, this is the position I'm talking about. Rook b6. That's not what I was looking at. Oh, the king is far away now. So rook b6. If the king steps in, you can now defend. No. Yeah, you can now defend because now if rook takes, bishop takes, these squares are guarded. The king can't infiltrate, and the bishop is too late to stop the promotion. Very good. Yeah. So the king moving away from the defense is what allows that to happen. Okay. Very well understood. Okay. So this, and then from this point, black takes over, and that's about it. Okay. That was cool. Let me see something. Okay. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for being around. If you haven't consider joining the Discord to get notified whenever I'm streaming. You can follow the stream or subscribe, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. Either one is completely fine. And then what again? Yeah, that's about it. I do offer coaching as well, not free, so don't think it's free. You can hit me up on my Gmail, where we can discuss what your goals are and pricing as well. So thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate your presence here, and I'll see you Friday. Friday is when I play viewers, guys. So if you want to play against me, come on Friday. The whole stream is about playing viewers. Okay, I may do a viewer stream tomorrow or Thursday, but it depends, because Wednesday and Thursday is kind of like some way for me. So thank you guys so much once again. Peace.